Hi. Okay, so I just came back from the movies, watched David, which was so cute. It was a really cute movie. If you're not familiar, it's based on the biblical story, which is a true story about David, who was a shepherd and he was anointed like a prophet of God came to him, told him that he was going to be the next king. And yeah, that's kind of like in a summary what David's story is about, and then it was depicted on screen. I just have a few things to say. And that's it. The first thing I'm gonna say, maybe I'll start with this instead because the cat is here meowing. And there was a scene where Goliath, the giant, is like, says silence, and like, whatever, like the people on screen shut up. But like there were some babies in the theater and the babies were laughing. The babies were laughing, and I was like, that's just actually so perfect because like God didn't give us a spirit of fear. So like this giant come in silence, like shut the fuck up, nigga. Anyways, the end scene, it was, I get what they were trying to do with the whole, with the piece of cloth, with the whole Saul and David thing. I get that. However, like y'all should have just said God, like just said we're in God's hands. Like you're just vaguely saying we're in your hands, and then you're throwing off the cloth, knowing that there's symbolism tied to this king. And the king was already like, with his distressing spirit that God put on him, was like a punk ass nigga. Like at the end of the day, like he was a punk ass nigga and he didn't do the things he was supposed to do, and that is why his anointing was stripped. You understand? So like I feel like, and that was the last line of the movie. Like give God his thanks and his praise. Like he saved the people. Because at the end of the day, David showed up with a rock stone, bro. All he showed up with to this giant is a rock stone. So if it wasn't for the grace of God, the Israelites would have been the Philistines' slaves. And then the next thing, they had songs in the movie, and I like that it's a musical. And the thing about musicals is that they can be catchy. The songs can be catchy, and that's kind of like the whole point. You want to make a catchy song that people are going to remember. They're going to remember your movie or the message you're trying to. Why was it so hard for me to hear God's name being called, really, to give him the glory, the honor, and the praise, until that song where they're like, why God, why God, why have you forsaken me? Like, I'm not saying it was a bad song. I'm just saying, like, there was one song, and I heard Shaddai, and I was like, okay, thank God. I heard the Creator one time, and I was like, okay. But it's like, I was like, them afraid for say God or something. Like, if you like say his name, like that's how David was victorious. It's because he praised God. Like if you look in the Bible, there's so many psalms written by David. Why is it in the movie you're depicting him, he comes and he'll say, yes, the crown is God's. Yes, that's true. You're not up against where, you're up against God. Yes, that's true. Or God is gonna help us fight the battle. Yes, that's true. But it's like when it comes to praising, and there were times when they showed scenes where David was like by himself. I don't see him praying to God. I don't see him like having a quiet moment with God. Like, bruh, that was faulty to me, because I feel like people gonna walk away from this singing, turn to the light. Okay, turn to the light. Okay. turn to God's light. Like, make it clear that we're giving God thanks, please. That's all I'm really asking. Like, that's all I'm really asking. Anyways, that's it. I would recommend that people watch the film. It was good. All right, later, guys. Put God first and love always.